This culture that we live in lives for happiness. I'll tell you what, you start determining your happiness by the happenings around you, and you're going to find yourself questioning God. This culture that we live in lives for happiness. You're never going to have a proper relationship with God until you realize that He's the only one who's ever going to make you happy. If your happenings determine your happiness, you're not going to ever be happy, friend. It's when you and I discover that the fountain of our life, the happiness of our life is in our God. The happiness of our life is in our God. Is in our God. We live about happiness. Everything's got to make us happy. And if something's wrong in our life and not making us happy, then there's something that can't be in my life. And I'm telling you, it has become so twisted and so mixed up that we now measure our happiness by the happenings around us. If things are not happening well around us, then we are not happy. If things are not, happening like we want to be happening, then we're not happy. And then you know what happens? Then what we do is then we say, God, are you really real? You start determining your happiness by the happenings around you, and you're going to find yourself questioning God. Are you really real? Are you really real? Are you really real?
You'll kind of trick your mind into believing that the world's got a little happiness going on. The world, all theirs is pretend. Do you understand? I mean, they'll say, hey, you can get happiness in a bottle. Yeah, it'll make you happy for one night. You'll be sick tomorrow. That's how it works. So they say you can get happiness in a bag, or you get happiness in a pill. You get happiness in this and that and the other. But all there's is short-term stuff. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you don't make you happy for a little while. That's why the Bible says that sin is fun for a season. It is. But I will tell you something. You will reap the repercussions of the world's concept of happiness. You let the happenings around you determine the smile on your face. You ain't gonna smile much now. You ain't gonna smile much. And then you know what? You keep taking it to the nth degree and you'll find yourself wondering if God's real.
God, why'd you let that happen to me? God, why'd you let that happen to me?
And there are very few believers in this room who've never spent a moment or two saying, God, are you real? Do you know why? Because we've fallen prey to the culture's concept of happiness. We believe that happiness comes from the outside in, when the truth of the matter is, happiness does not come from the outside in, but it comes from the inside out. It's not what's out here that determines your happiness. It's who's in here that determines your happiness. You're never going to have a proper relationship with God until you realize that He's the only one who's ever going to make you happy.
It's when you and I discover that the fountain of our life, the happiness of our life is in our God. Is in our God.